Welcome back to the Custom Cabinet Estimator tutorial series.
In this tutorial, we'll be looking at setting up and managing accessories and hardware. From the dashboard, we'll go back to our cabinet setup and we'll choose accessories and hardware. And as always, we will land on our list view, and you just need to pick the item that you would like to work on. And in this case, I want to search for something that might have an image so I can show you how that works. So I'm going to go ahead and go to in the category field and choose functional accessory, and then in the classification I'm going to choose a Lazy Susan because I know most of these have an image associated to them. So you see the image here. And as we discussed in other videos, you can add a video here. Since this one already has one, when I use my right button, my only option here is to remove it, or I can choose the new button and then it'll let me either paste one in or it'll allow me to search on my hard drive to add an image. So you can add an image that you've cut and pasted from a website, or if you have an image on your hard drive, you can insert that. Either way. So here, as we had with the last database, we have a sublist view. So here's our primary list view where you see all of the items. Since I have searched for only functional accessories and Lazy Susans, I'm only seeing 24 of 332 items. This is both accessories and hardware, and so there's a total of 332 items. But once you're into this item, you see that those two criteria are filled in here. So I am only looking at, even in this sub list, things that are functional accessories and are Lazy Susans, but I can clear these here and see everything. And so if you were changing the prices on items, you could just click through this list, just going item by item by item up and down until you get to the item you want to get to, and choose each one and change the price for it, and working through that list. As with all of the databases, we have some basic information about the item here, and you would fill all of this in. Some of them, like the classifications, are things that we have in here already, or you will add as you go. And of course you can double click in that field and back out Lazy Susan and type something else in, and the next time you come back, that item will be on this list. Description field will print on your reports, but the internal note field will not print on your reports. So this is where you can make notes about how you priced it, or what you want to do next time when you're adjusting the price, or what you've marked up, or anything that would help you to know better how to change the price as things. Maybe you need to know if there were some discounts or things like that. You would want to know what the list price was or something like that. So you can type any notes you want here that you don't want to print on reports that'll help you next time you're pricing this item. And then we have the same type fields we have everywhere else as far as pricing and supplier discounts and calculated. But these two fields are new from what we've looked at prior. Now we actually have some shop labor and installation labor that are independent of our labor rates. When we come up to cabinet setup, we see here at the last button is labor rates, and those labor rates are for the items that we create in the pre-populated databases like cabinets and applied ends and things like that. But these accessories, we have no idea what you're going to enter into here, and so we have no way of creating a category within the labor rates for all these odd items. So here's where you control that. So once a year, if you update your pricing based on a set amount or something to account for inflation, then you would want to come to these numbers and adjust them. And again, this sub list view would make that quick and easy to come through and say, well, I want to add 5% to the shop labor and installation labor on all these items. So you have that opportunity. I typically price these high enough where I don't have to worry about that, but once every 4 or 5 years. But this shop labor and this installation labor are specific to this one item. In this particular case, we would have installed this Lazy Susan in the shop, not in the field. But if your company chooses to install it in the field, you would want that labor rate here as opposed to in the shop labor. Or you may have a little bit of labor here and a little bit of labor in the installation. So either way or both works fine. Down here is a new set of radio buttons that we haven't seen prior in any of the earlier tutorial videos. This is show on reports. So when you print an estimate or proposal, we're asking you, do you want this to show on a report? Well, I can't imagine you not wanting a Lazy Susan to show on the report. You'd want the client to see that they've ordered a Lazy Susan and how much that Lazy Susan is costing them. We'll save you phone calls by having that answered on your estimates and proposals. But there are items, and let's go back to the list view and clear our search criteria here. And here, this first item is a complexity upcharge. This particular item is all about charging the client for an angled cabinet. We don't have any way for you to actually upcharge for an angle cabinet in the cabinet database, but here in the accessories database you can. So if you've got a blind corner cabinet or a diagonal corner cabinet or a clipped corner cabinet, anything that would have additional labor and be more complex to build, these complexity upcharges are ideal for that. So here we're charging them $32 for shop labor and $16 for installation labor. Both of those numbers will be marked up by all of our markups. And we are saying we don't want that to show in the report. You could show it if you wanted to, but you don't have to. And so every single item you can choose to whether you want your client to see it or not. So you can have hidden costs, and then you can have costs that are revealed to them within the estimates or proposals. That's it for this video tutorial on editing the accessories and hardware database in Custom Cabinet Estimator. Next, we'll look at editing the trim and molding database in Custom Cabinet Estimator. Thanks for watching.